All right, finally getting somewhere. Welcome. You guys might be thinking, why doesn't he set all this stuff up before the call? Why does it always take several minutes when the call starts for him to be ready? Yeah, that would be a good question. Norman, thanks for the signals yesterday, Nico. You're welcome. Hope you guys made some money. It was a good few trades there. Bitcoin was doing some strange things, counter to normal Sunday activity. Let's look at it. Basically, we were long, well, Ethereum was breaking this 4-year resistance, long time on the monthly chart, going all the way back to 2021, almost 2022, 24, 2022, 23, 24, and here is 25. We were finally breaking that. And that's what it looked like close up on the 4-hour. We went through it and we were up here at the time of the post. I was long. Somewhere during that, I posted this. We were up, I was up about 30%. And then yesterday, Sunday, I went to Islands of Adventure with some family, tried to have some fun, got rained out. But while we were there, I saw some other things happening. So we had XLM was in the middle of this apex and it was bouncing on the bottom. So it was either going to go to the top and break out or, get stuck in there. But the important part is that that was major support and resistance right here. We had support, resistance, 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 support, support. It's either going to break to the upside. And since everything else was breaking to the upside, it made sense that it would as well. So those were the 3 long positions. Ethereum was bouncing on this upward trend. BTC breaking this overall upward trending resistance and holding it as support. Coming in and bouncing on the upward trending support line. And this green line was the overall trending resistance I was telling you about. We went above it, we came back below it, we got back above it, and we broke out of the overall bull flag to the upside. So that was positive. And then yesterday around 9:30 p.m., BTC was still pumping. It got up to about 120. When I posted this, it was at 119.2, but it got all the way up to 122. And then I moved my stop loss to like 121 or something like that and got taken out overnight. Ethereum created this giant cup and handle. Well, this is on the lower time frame, so it's not that giant, but you could see it on the 1-hour as well, and then came down and hit this line and then fell through the line. So this little cup here on the overall on the 1-hour did not hold as a cup and handle. It actually came back below here and fell below that line, looking more like this. XLM did get to the top of the apex right here and then bounced, came back down and broke through the bottom, did not quite make it through. And Ethereum broke the cup, the handle came below this trend line. But I think this is all temporary, guys. It does look like a nice double top. It does look like a cup and handle, but then you have this support right here. Let's just see what it's doing right now. Bitcoin pumped all the way up to 122, came down, took me out right around here at 121, and then dropped all the way to this support and resistance line. Retesting the 119.5. I did re-enter at 120.15 right here on that bounce. This is what it looked like. Basically, this line right here, bouncing. I know the charts look different because I'm posting from different devices, but upward trending support, resistance line right here. It bounced right on the crux, right where those two converge. And that's where we're at right now. Let's see what's looking. Okay, well, hey, there it is, bouncing. And if I draw that line back, let me see, what was this for? That's nothing. I'm gonna get rid of that. We'll just draw this line back up here. This is the upward trending support. And we could be in a new upward trending channel here, which is a trend reversal. As you can see, Bitcoin was trending down in a bull flag for weeks. Let's go zoom in and see. This was the all-time high, 123 right here. We've been in this downward trending channel since then, since July 25th. So I would say 5-6 weeks now. And we dipped all the way down to here. This is the important part. We dipped all the way down to 112 and literally wicked through to 111.7 before climbing back up. That was the major resistance level back here, which was the all-time high at 112 right here. And we were in that big bullish flag after 112 for a while too, before breaking out. And as you can see, before we broke out of that 112 flag, we did wick down all the way to 98.2. And as you can see, that was previous resistance here before retesting. And if I go back further, you'll see it was support and resistance as well over here. As well. Oops. So, and then here, I know I go over these like on all the calls, guys, but I just want to, fresh everybody's memory here. We break out, we go into a big bull flag, we wick down, touch the 112 before breaking out. I always say that's usually what happens. We come down and test that. And normally we hit the top and retest the halfway line too, before breaking out. This one did bounce and it did come down a bit before breaking out, but not to me, not all the way to the halfway line. Remember, I was saying that it was probably going to be right where the crux is, right where the upward trending support meets the halfway line, and the overall. Another important line is the overall resistance line, coming from all the way back to 2000. And it's because I'm on USDT. That's why I'm having a problem here. Let me go over to CoinM. For some reason, my Bitcoin USDT chart takes forever to load, where my Bitcoin margin chart does it a lot faster for some reason. And then, of course, as soon as I say that, it's taking a long time too. I don't know what's going on here. Probably this 1,000 tabs that I have open is causing a problem. All right, so you see this white line right here, this overall upward trending resistance. That's the one we did come down and retest right at the crux. So we have this upward trending support, we have this overall upward trending resistance, and we have this 50, the bull flag coming right down to it, and the halfway line coming right down, and they all met right there. We did go up through it and come down almost to that corner before breaking out. The breakout did happen right after retesting here on the 112 and coming back up into the channel. So pretty predictable. And of course, there's only two options there. It's either going to, this was that 50% line right here. I was expecting this to come down to it first before breaking down. Didn't quite do that, but doesn't really matter. It broke out before coming all the way back down to the bottom. And maybe this right here was the retest right here. This right here, boom. Maybe that was the halfway line. Maybe I just don't have it in the right spot. Maybe it's all right here. I don't know. But either way, we broke out and had some nice pump all the way up to 122. We're coming down and we found support right here at the 119.5 level. Let's just zoom out and see what that is about. As you can see, there's a lot of resistance, support, resistance, 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 resistance. And sometimes when it breaks through, that's still resistance if it doesn't hold. So it breaks through, doesn't make any higher highs, falls right back below and retest as resistance. Wicks through, falls back below, retest. Hits it, resistance, goes through, falls back below, retest, retest. Retest, 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 doesn't get through it. That's major resistance and support because there was some support there. And that's what we bounced on. That's why I gave the most recent signal where I re-entered right here. Re-entry at 121.56, stop loss at 118.815, which is right below this line. 118.815 is right here below that wick. And I'm going to move my stop loss. Well, I'm going to still leave it there. I'm going to leave it at the 119 level. Which I am on the wrong chart again. I made the trade on USDT and I'm showing you the Bitcoin margin chart, and I might enter the trade also on Bitcoin margin. Let me just see. Yeah. Pretty sure we're going to break this to the upside and come back up and retest for either a double top, triple top. Let's go to the daily and look. Yeah. What we're trying to do is get back up to that 123 here, guys. This was the all-time high right here, and we are at 120,600 right here, somewhere right there. And we got to get through that. As you can see, the overall apex is this top line and this upward trending resistance. So we're still in the apex here, but because we broke out of this flag, I'm still expecting a breakout to the 129 to 130 level. We do got to get above the 123 first, and we could hit resistance. Normally, most likely will hit resistance there first, where we hit it, and maybe even come to hit this line first before another breakout. Very possible. But usually, a lot of times when we have resistance like this at the 112, when we break it, we came up and hit it right here. You see that resistance line right there. We hit it, boom. And then the next candle popped up. But this is the daily. So this was 24 hours to get through before the next candle popped open. So it is possible we just come right up and hit it. Next candle opens and we just go straight through. Happened back here too, where we came up and hit 73.9. We came up and hit it, boom. And then we pulled back. This is the daily. So it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days before we pulled back above it. So that's what I mean by hitting it and then not just going right through it. We had an upward trend, very similar to what we're seeing now. We broke out from down here. We broke out here, retested, hit the all-time high, which was 73.8 right here, pulled all the way back first before breaking out. This one in the flag, we broke out, went all the way up to previous high, not the all-time high, but we went up to the resistance level, pulled back, retested first before breaking out. Here we broke out. We went above it all the way to 122, and we pulled back to this level first. That's where we're at. Let's go zoom in again. Yeah, I think we're breaking BTC. I am going long again. Now, I already went long. I already gave a signal, but this is just my other account on a coin margin. I am also going to add a long position here. It could easily come back and retest, so may not be the best entry, but I don't want to forget about it, so I'm just entering it right now. And I'm going to put a stop loss down here under this downward trending support because I have a feeling it will hold there. As you can see, guys, this, if you just draw a support line there, when it does come down to retest, it will most likely be there. So I'm going to put my stop loss right here at 119,730. TP, on the other one, I said 123 for now. I don't really want to get stopped out. I mean, I don't want my TP to get hit, but at the same time, I have a feeling it will bounce at 123 first and come back down a little bit. So you could just take that profit, or you could just be watching. So I'm going to put 123 for now, just in case I'm not paying attention. And so there we go. Stop loss and TP up here, right below that yellow line is the all-time high. So my TP is right before it. That's front running, just in case it doesn't blow right through and it comes up, hits 123 and has a big pullback, which it probably will, probably right to about here, 122, 282, right about here. Why? Because that was the most recent resistance. It will probably, once it gets above this and wakes up and touches the previous all-time high, it will come down and retest that before breaking up. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you, Ravinder. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. I hope you made some money. ETH is pumping again. Someone says, let me go look. They all have a little bit of a mind of their own right now. Well, it's probably pumping in correlation to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Joseph. All right, good job. Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, we did. If we zoom out a little bit, let me go to the daily and just see where the breakout is of the. So yeah, so this right here was the 4-year resistance on Ethereum. We did, obviously we broke above it. I said that last night, yesterday, but if we go down to the lower time frame to the hourly, you'll see we're quite a bit above it and rising. I mean, we did, depending on where you put the actual. Hold on a second, let me just see where the actual resistance is. The top of it. Right there, right there. Okay, so I have that pretty much at the top. Looks like I could possibly make that a little bigger. Right there. Yeah, that's a zone. It's all right. We are holding on that line right there because there's a nice flat line, although it wasn't the 4-year resistance is a little lower than this, probably right there at 4,100. But as you can see, it's a flat floor and somewhat of a rising ceiling. So that can go on quite a bit. Let's go look. Let's go look at what does that mean when you see a expanding, widening wedge. Go look at help desk, and then we go in here, guys. Whenever you see patterns and you want to know, go to the help desk, go up here to the pinned messages, go to chart pattern cheat sheet, and let's just look. Right here. Bearish expanding triangle. Not quite. It's flat at the bottom, but it is expanding, and generally those are bullish. I mean bearish. But how high? How high can it go first before breaking to the downside? Go back and look. I mean, this could do this for a while. All the way up, even higher. Let's see, is this a higher high? Yep, that's 38.56. This is 39.30. That is a higher high. Let's just see, because maybe it'll be a rising wedge, and maybe it won't be flat at the bottom. Maybe it will be more like this one. As you can see, we've seen it before. Here's a rising wedge. It broke up. There's another one, kind of. They tend to break to the downside. But here's something that might be interested in seeing. Let's go to TradingView and look. On the 30-minute chart, we had a green dot back here, right at the bottom here, where it was bouncing on, this is Bitcoin, by the way, when it was bouncing on this support after this big dump. And this support does go back all the way. I mean, it was resistance back here, but goes back a bit. And if you look at the upward trending, we've been upward trending for a while. I think Bitcoin is destined to retest its all-time high. And hopefully we'll get through it, guys. But there is always the possibility. If we go and look at the all-time high right here. Made a nice big bullish flag. We did have downward trending. This is the resistance that we just came down and retested. Boom. And the overall, it's possibly even a better upward trending support here. Which we could retest again. But it is possible, guys, that if this can't get higher than where it just went here, or if it can't get higher than previous all-time high, that's the if. And we break the overall upward trending support, I mean, we'll be coming into another apex to the downside, then that will be a big double top. And this could turn into a giant M pattern. Because that does happen sometimes. Right down to this support right here, where we wick down to, which was, guess what, 112K. If that happens, then we'll be having a different discussion. And then that could bring us down. That can bring us down a little bit. But that's not really what the expectation is. That's just a possibility if we can't get above this. We've had many, and I'll go back and show you many situations where we hit an all-time high right here, 112. Pump all the way from down here, hit all-time high 112, dropped all the way down to 100 and reattempted, could not get above it, and then fell all the way even lower. We go back even further. Back here, we came all the way up from way down here, $10,000 to 19, 20,000, all the way to 41,000, all the way to 58,000, 61,000, 65,000, 64.8, all-time high. Everybody's freaking out. Dropped all the way down to 28K and then reattempted, got all the way up, almost there, 53, pulled back huge again, all the way to 40. By the way, this doesn't look like big drops, but that's a $13,000 drop. That would be equivalent to us right now dropping back down to, 115 or so. Or whatever we at. What are we at right now? That would be like us dropping down to 109. But then we come back up and we retested it. We retested it right here and we wicked through just a little bit. Boom, boom. Could not hold above it. And that was the beginning of the end. Look at that giant M pattern. Looking very, very similar to the one I just drew. Coming all the way back down. Boom. And that was, if it breaks that and holds its support like it did here, I mean, holds its resistance, breaks through, holds its resistance, then that was, back then, that was going from like May 2022 all the way to November. If you just tuned in right now, you're going to think I'm acting bearish or I'm being negative. No, I'm just telling you all the possibilities. We are at the bottom of the overall upward trending. There's a couple ways to look at this, guys. You see this? This is going way back to 2017. If I touch the tops here, we got a long way to go. All the way up to like 500 grand. But if I touch just here to here and bring it over this way from the last bull market, we're above that line right now, which is definitely positive. But we are coming up to test this other side over here. So this whole M that I just drew is not reality at the moment. That's only if it breaks to the downside of this most recent upward trending support and does not make it higher than 123. So that's only if it breaks to the downside of this upward trending support and does not make it higher than this line up here, which is the all-time high, 123. So these are the two. You guys should draw that on your chart. You have upward trending support coming all the way down from 112 here. And then you have the resistance, which is the all-time high. We just broke out of this one, but we have the next resistance line, which is the all-time high right here, 123.1. Just draw it from this peak back here. And that's the apex we're currently in. You can, are you, Joshua, he's asking why he can't view Bitcoin before 2022 on Phemex. That's when it was listed. I mean, that's when it was, that's how far their charts go back. But on TradingView, you can. I have the same problem. There is, if you're on Phemex and you come down here to TradingView or date range down here right underneath TradingView, you can click go to and you can customize the date range, but still, I don't believe it goes. Well, hold on. Let me see. How far does it go back? Ethereum. So let me go to Bitcoin and let me go to Coin M. Mine goes to 2019, but only on a Bitcoin margin. You're welcome, Joshua. But only on a Bitcoin margin right here. 2019, November. So to see further than that, just go over to TradingView, which is the one I was just on. You can go all the way back to 2011, I think. So let's go to the monthly and take a look. (2009) right here. So there's another thing happening here, guys, and this is the long running support and resistance line right here going all the way back to 2011. And we have been bouncing on it, and we did just get above this white line barely. But like I said, if we get up to all-time high and we can't hold above that, we could fall back below. And if we, if we do fall below this upward trending support, then that's probably the end of the bull market. I don't really expect that to happen right now, but I'm always prepared just in case. Didn't really expect it here either. Same situation. Do you need me, bud?
No, I just finished cleaning up that boiler, so I'm just gonna move on to the second phase of, that was operating, so it shouldn't take me too long. And then I'll be out of here.
Cool. All right, thanks. So other than that, guys, let's see. Any other questions? I was mock trading and made $345 ish on 95. I'm impressed. Thank you. Good job, Doug. Keith, I use Bollinger Bands, can show the ranges. I use it with moving averages. Yeah, good. Thank you for the signals. CBART made profit on those, and my own picks had a feeling and closed. Yeah, guys, this is one thing I wanted to say. I keep trying to remind myself to mention this. When you're in profit, like yesterday, you do not need my permission to close those trades in profit. You do not need me to give you a signal or some kind of hand sign saying close the trade. I moved my stop loss too close last night. I moved it up to 121 because if we couldn't get high, if we were just coming up, what I was worried about is it wicking all the way up to the previous all-time high and dropping all the way back down overnight. So I did have a stop loss. I mean, I did have a take profit. I at 123,999, but I was also worried that it might not hit it. It might go up high, like close to it, and then come all the way back down very quickly overnight. And so I moved my stop loss all the way to 121, and it got hit. But I knew that now, if I would have closed it at 122, where it actually went to, if I would have just stayed up, and I would have made an extra $1,000. But if I also didn't have my stop loss in place, I would still be in the trade and it would be climbing back up. So, but you can't, that's crystal ball stuff. You can't, hindsight is genius, right? You can't look back and say, oh, I could have, should have, would have done this. So, but I have learned from a lot of trading that many times, and I know a lot of you are experiencing this right now, many times you were in profit, you could have closed it in a much bigger profit, and you end up letting it come back down and hitting your stop loss. Even if your stop loss is in profit, it's hitting your stop loss at a much lower profit than you could have made if you would have closed it on the pump. Generally speaking, guys, when you see this pump, 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 it usually has a big pullback after that. Very rarely are we going to see pump, 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 pump. It just doesn't happen. So usually there's a giant pump like this and a big consolidation, sometimes back to retest, which is exactly, I mean, look at this. It came right back and retested where it started from. Now it started down here after breaking out of the bull flag. This one retested, slowly climbed, but as soon as it broke out here, it really shot up. And so if you get in the habit of just closing the trades when they're in maximum profit, and how do you know it's maximum? The reason why you don't know it's maximum profit is because you think it's going to keep going. But whenever it's a huge, big pump like this, generally speaking, especially when it starts to slow down and create smaller candles like this, I'm on the 1 hour time frame, but when the candles start getting smaller and smaller and smaller, that's losing buying pressure. It's about to drop. Just close the trade out. Take it. Take the profit and wait for the next setup. Where would be the next setup? Boom, boom, boom. You wake up the next morning, bam, we get back in here. So if you just get in the habit of doing that, you'll be happier. I'm sure that you've all looked back at times and said, man, I should have closed that out. Man, I should have taken the profit. And if you do that, if you just take the profit, you will be more of a consistently profitable trader. You'll have more winning trades, obviously. Steve Miller, take the money and run. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my problem has been that I get too much drawn into the fact by the take profit level that is defined in the signal, and then I just keep on kind of my mind keeps on drifting to that. That's probably the highest level, and I keep on waiting for it, and then sometimes it leads to, you know, things kind of turning over on the
Yeah.
on the other side.
Yeah. Also, I think some people see my TP and say, well, if his TP's at 122,999, then that's probably where it's going to go. And so since it's not there yet, you guys wait for it to get there, and then it pulls all the way back. Look how close. 122,999 was right here, right below that yellow line. It didn't quite make it. I normally front run it because I thought it was going to hit 123.1, which is the all-time high. But I front runned it. I put it at 129.99 something. Can't remember. Let's go back and look. But the reason why I do that is because I want to make sure it hits if it gets that high. This time I put it at 123, but last night I moved it. See, BTC TP moved to 122.990. That was at 11 p.m. right before I went to bed.
Yeah.
But I also moved my stop loss up, and I didn't care really. If it went back down and hit my stop loss, I would still make good money. But but I would have made a lot more if I would have just closed it up here. But you know, it doesn't matter how good you are or how long you've been doing this, we all have that greed in us that makes us think, yeah, it's gonna keep going, it's pumping, this is it. This is the time it's gonna make a new all-time high. This is the time it's going to the moon. We all have that thought in our head, and it never is. It never does that. It just pumps up and then comes back down, pumps up and comes back down a little bit, pumps up, comes back down. We're still in a little bit of an apex here. It did wake up when I just gave my long, and I was up a couple $100 here for a minute there, and now it's pulling back down. That's a long wick to the downside, which is not good. But I mean, a long wick on the top. But let's see. I still think if we go back and look at market cipher, we do have a green candle. It is flowing up so far, and we're going into Monday, and usually that's positive. There's been a lot of positive information. We could just be coming back down to retest right here, retest this breakout. And if we go to the lower time frames, looks bearish, right? A red candle, right? I mean, a red dot right there on this little turn. This is why it's very confusing on market cipher if you're bouncing around to different time frames. If you're going to scalp and you're just going to scalp, you're going to get in and get out very quickly. You need to stay on the 10-minute or somewhere down there. So you could have shorted this red dot right here and wrote it down to here, but you need to get out right here. I'm not posting those really, really short. I'm posting shorts, but I'm not posting the shorts that are so short that you're only going to be in it for a few seconds, because I want you guys to really know what you're doing first before you do that. If I posted a short here, you know, so by the time some of you see it, it's too late. It's too late. You got to get in right when it turns here. And that's not, I did not give that signal. I gave a long signal instead on this breakout. So, and I think that we're going to just retest this and bounce. And that's just my thought. It's possible that we don't, but we will see. But yeah, it's if you get in the habit of taking profit when you're in profit, guys, it doesn't matter if the trade is played all the way out. Doesn't matter if it's at the TP. Doesn't matter if your stop loss is already in profit. If you just close it out and take the profit, wait for the next trade setup, you will find that you have way more winning trades than losing trades, because you are in profit a lot, especially on our signals. But it doesn't always hit the TP. When I go long here and I put my TP here at 123, it's only because that is the next resistance level. It doesn't mean it's going to go to it. It just means that's the next resistance level. And I know that if it does go all the way to it, it's probably going to bounce there and come back down. So I might as well take the most amount of profit as possible. But if it goes, if I enter here and it goes up to here, and it doesn't quite get to here, but it gets to here and then starts to hit resistance there and come back down, I could just close it out and take the profit. You don't need my permission or anybody's permission to do that. But you see it in profit, you want to have a winning streak. You want to try to, here's what you guys need to do. This is something fun I did a long time ago, and you can do it anytime, is try to have a whole month of just wins. Try to have a whole week of just wins. I would say a whole month. And that is when you look at your trade history, it's all green. Doesn't matter if it's small wins or big wins or whatever. Just try to because then you will prove to yourself that you can be a consistently profitable trader, and you're in your own way sometimes because you're letting it go negative. You're letting it go from positive trade to negative trade. You're letting it go into profit and back out of profit when you don't have to do that. You could simply just scalp the profit. And when you start to do that and you make a game of it where you just, as soon as you're not as soon as you're into profit, you do have to have enough profit for it to make sense. You got to get past the fees. You don't just want a 2% win. And then when you close it out, you broke even because your fees were like 1.75%, of your margin. So you want to 10, 15%, close it, take the profit, wait for the next trade setup. If you do that, you're going to have a lot more fun. First of all, your account's going to grow. You're going to have a lot less losing trades, and you're going to be a consistently profitable trader. And then if you make that a habit, that's a damn good habit to make. Because I think some of you are making a habit of waiting too long.
Nico, I have a question if you could hear me.
Yes.
If I'm new to the group, when you set the stop losses on there, can you set it to trail? Like say it's 5%, it goes up 20%, so then it just comes down to 5, you'd be at the 15% profit? Or do you have to set it from when you go into the trade itself?
When you're setting a 10% stop loss?
Yeah, say 10%. So if it goes up 25%, when it drops 10, will it sell at that point? So you're still at 15%?
No. When you set a stop loss at 10%, it's 10% of your entry. So it will stay at 10% of your entry. So
there's no way to set it to trail it?
Yes, there is. So that would be a trailing stop. And then what you do is, for instance, you just come over here to TPSL and you click the little pencil, and you can see right here, before you click edit to expand, you can see partial position trailing stop. If I click on trailing stop, add trailing stop, then you can put the values in here. What percentage do you want it to trail?
Okay, awesome.
Or you can put contract sizes instead of percentage. This is if you want to trade by percentage. This is if you want to trade by size.
Okay.
You can trade that. You can have a constant trailing stop or a percentage trailing stop.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I personally don't use trailing stops, but not because they don't work or not because it's not a good thing. It's just because I'm usually watching. And so when I'm watching, my eyes are trailing stops. If it goes up a certain amount, I move my stop loss up and I just grab it right here and move it up. So it's a manual. I have a manual trailing stop where I'm just using my better judgment. But if you use an automated trailing stop, like I just showed you, it will automatically do it. Here's the problem with that. Here's the only problem with that. Let's just say the price goes up 20%. You have a 10% trailing stop. It goes up 10%. That sounds logical. That sounds good. And then this goes up another 20%. Your stop loss goes up another 10%. But then what if we have a little pullback and all it does is come back to retest a certain level and then it goes up? You just got taken out here and this is continuing up now. And you're upset that you got taken out because your stop loss is automatic. So what I do is I'm manually watching, and I make sure I put my stop loss underneath previous resistance. So if this does go up higher than that and wants to come back, so like this would be a good example right here. We break out, I go long. I put my stop loss underneath this wick right here. And then it goes up, it comes I didn't move it up into profit at all this whole time. Well, I did and I got stopped out up here, but in this example, it comes all the way down and look where it bounces. Boom. It doesn't go to where I have my stop loss. And then as it starts to go back up, I can grab my stop loss and move it up a little bit more, or a little bit more, or a little bit more. I can move it up wherever I want. But what I don't want it to do is I don't want my stop loss to be in between a liquidity zone. So it's very hard. The trailing stop is not going to look for that. So what it's going to do is just going to automatically move your stop loss every 10% or whatever. But so an example would be this breaks this, goes up, and then comes back down and hits this and bounces. that's when I will manually move my stop loss to right under that.
Okay.
But if you're just automatically, it's just going up, going up, going up with it, it could get taken out. So just be careful. Keep an eye on it. If you see it coming down to your trailing stop, if you're actually paying attention and it's actually coming down and almost about to hit your trailing stop, what you would look for in that point is you would say, is your trailing stop in the right area? Is it actually where it should be? And let's just say your trailing stop is right here. But you look and you see, oh, this could come down and retest this level right here because there was support and resistance, support
Okay.
and resistance. So maybe it's going to come there. So maybe I should move my trailing stop down below that line.
Okay.
That just takes experience though. You gotta know what you're looking for as far as support and resistance. If it breaks above this, it probably will retest that. So I don't want my trailing stop to follow this up because it's probably going to come and retest this line. So I'm going to keep my stop below that level.
Yeah, I'm just looking for when I'm not watching. I got 3 kids and I trade
Yeah.
options, and it's nice to, if I have something going and
Oh yeah,
I want
especially
to do something.
absolutely. If you're already experienced doing it and you've done it on options or in the stock market, you can certainly do it here.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Pablo, I know this will be different for everyone, but wondering how much capital you trade with, and do you keep that consistent and pull money out of your trade account to put into spot or BTC, or keep growing your trade account? The numbers are too small to see my screen. The numbers are too small to see on my screen.
Yeah, Nico, I mean the numbers that I'm seeing on the screen are too small to read.
Oh, down
So
here, my
yeah.
numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trading with 46,000 contracts here and 50,000 contracts here. That is, the margin is $1,896 for this one and $2,700 for this one. But I'm at 25x leverage and 19x leverage. But that's not how much I have in my trading account. That's just what I'm trading with on this trade. In this trading account, I'll show you up here. I have $18,451. But that's mixed. That's mixed between my USDT and my Bitcoin. I don't usually keep more than 20K in there. And when I make big profits up, even right now, if I made a couple grand or 200 grand, I'm not going into my next trade with all the same amount that I was trading with here, plus the amount that I just made. So yes, I do transfer out. I take profits out. I move it to cold storage wallet. I sometimes pay for things with profits. Sometimes I'm moving it to different tokens, different coins, because I'm trying to accumulate more. Let's say I'm trying to accumulate more XRP, or I'm trying to accumulate more XLM or something like that. I'll take Bitcoin profits sometimes and I'll move it to Bitcoin holding account, or I'll take USDT profits and move that to other tokens that I just want to sit on.
Gotcha.
Really
Thank you.
no rhyme or reason. It's like I just do it instinctively, really. Like sometimes I just want to have an even number. Like I want, to say I want 10 Ethereum and I only have 8.46. It's going to drive me crazy until I get to 9 even. It's going to drive me crazy until I get to 10 even. It doesn't mean anything. It's not necessarily something you need to copy. It's just me personally. That's just my OCD, I guess, that I need to have an exact amount.
Nico, I was watching one of your training videos and you said that when you pull money from Bitcoin to fiat, at that point you have to pay taxes on it. Is that correct?
Well, if you're not necessarily, let's say you put 10,000, let's say you bought $10,000 worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase from your checking account. And then Bitcoin dropped. As soon as you did that, Bitcoin dropped in value from 122,000 all the way down to 118. You would now have like $7,800 worth of Bitcoin. If you sold it right then back to US dollar, you would have a loss, not a gain. So you would not be paying taxes on that. You could actually write that off as a loss. right? So now, however, you bought $10,000 of Bitcoin and it went up to 50,000 during the course of a year, and then you sold it and you actually had a capital gains because you made a profit on it, then technically speaking, that is considered taxable. But that depends also, because it seems to me that there have been some talks and some rules and some new legislation and some new, things put into place with the Genius Act and things like that, that I think got approved. Correct me if I'm wrong, where you are not taxed on crypto gains from the US. Was that correct? Does anybody know any details on that yet? You make money in a US account?
That was the idea, but I don't know if that part passed yet.
I don't know if that passed yet, but it is probably in the works of passing. Me
Well, how does
personally,
that work then? Because aren't you not allowed to use Phemex in the United States?
well, Phemex isn't reporting anything on anybody's behalf, so it would be up to you to report your earnings.
I got you.
Coinbase, on the other hand, doesn't report on your behalf, but they are a registered security, and they are a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange, and their books are open to the IRS if the IRS asks. Whereas Phemex would not comply with that rule. That Phemex is outside of U.S. jurisdiction and regulations. So,
Hey, Nico, can we take a
Yeah.
look at XRP?
and just to be clear, guys, I am not a tax expert, although I have had my share of tax attorneys and CPAs working for me for a long time. I do hear things and pay attention to what they tell me. I do read between the lines, and my goal is to be legal and do everything by the book. But the tax code is structured in a way to give everyone loopholes and all kinds of tax strategies to take advantage of. So if you're not taking advantage of all the loopholes and all the strategies, then you are overpaying just by ignorance, just by not understanding what's available to you. And a lot of people do that, and a lot of CPAs do that. A lot of CPAs, they generally used to work for the IRS. They generally are all they're doing really. Most CPAs and accountants, they're not really trying to find loopholes for you to save money. They're just trying to keep you compliant with the IRS, right? So they're just telling you what you should do based on the IRS. But they're not looking for all the strategies and loopholes. They're not tax strategists. You need to find a separate tax strategist attorney who knows all the different advantages, all the different ways to structure things. And most CPAs and accountants do not have a clue how all that works. And they'll be the first to tell you, not only that, but they're not legally allowed to tell you ways to reduce your tax liability. Their job is just to do the books for you. They're just like glorified bookkeepers. No offense to any CPAs and accountants on here. If you're a CPA or an accountant and you do understand tax strategies, that's a different story. I have tax attorneys and CPAs that have tax strategists on their team, but most CPAs, they just look at the tax law and say, oh, you made this much money this year? Oh yeah, you're supposed to pay this. Oh, you're in this tax bracket? Oh, you're in this state? Yeah, you got to pay this. They're not really saying, but you could do this, but you could set up an entity or a trust. You could set up a C corporation and operate through that. You could buy your property through this. You could do cost segregation on this. They're not telling you all those strategies. So you need separate counsel for that.
If we set up a one-on-one, would you be able to go over
that? No. I mean, I can refer you to my tax strategist.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let them do it. They're actually insured up to like $1 million. If they make a mistake, they will go to court for you. If they do something they're not supposed to do, they will go to court for you and defend their position so that you don't have to. That's why you want to use those kinds of people, because they're responsible for what they tell you.
I'm not trying to take the advice from you. I was just saying if there's an avenue where I could
for sure
with them.
Yeah, send me a DM. They're not necessarily crypto experts, but it doesn't really matter what the asset class is. It's capital gains, but crypto is falling under a different type of situation these days. And honestly, guys, the IRS cannot keep up. The IRS has no clue what's going on. They don't know. Trump fired like 25,000 IRS agents. He's trying to restructure the IRS. He's trying to create an external revenue service instead of an internal revenue service, which you probably heard, based on the tariffs, with enough money coming in from tariffs to no longer require federal income tax. that could be a thing. I mean, income tax could be abolished. It could finally come to that. That's what everybody's hoping and waiting for. And it is possible with this president. He's actually trying to do that. He actually thinks that it should happen. Now, that's just income tax, which is great. That would help a lot of people, right? And it's such a confusing issue, income tax, and people are so, stressed out by it, and it's just not fair that they should take 40, 50, 30, 40, 50% of your income. And not only that, it's not even a matter of you paying your taxes. A lot of people think that's patriotic and that's your duty. No, it's not. It's legal thievery. It's against the Constitution. It's unconstitutional. It should never have happened to begin with. So it all just depends on how you look at it, I guess. I mean, why should you work 4 months, 5 months out of the year for free? That's right, for free. 4 months of your annual income is going to pay the IRS. And then you barely able to get by and stress out. And then knowing, once you learn where the money is actually going, it's going to fund fraudulent freaking PAC organizations, and money's getting funneled back to politicians and all of these different bullshit nonprofits. Dogecoin uncovered, not Dogecoin, Doge, Elon Musk in his little group of auditors uncovered billions and trillions of dollars worth of government waste. And that money was coming from taxpayers. And it was enriching a lot of scrupulous politicians. I mean, how else can people like Biden and Pelosi and Schumer and all these people be worth 10, 20, 50, 80, $100 million on a $200,000 a year salary? How is that possible? So once all this bullshit is taken care of, now it should piss you off enough to not want to pay taxes, but you still got to do the law. You still got to do things legally, otherwise you can get in trouble, right? But the tax code is so complex that, and so nonsensical, that intentionally to make you so confused and so stressed out over it that you want to do everything you can to avoid. So what do? You do what the IRS suggests, which is pay quarterly, pay weekly out of your paychecks, pay quarterly so that you don't get behind. So you're literally paying in advance for something you don't even know what you owe. And then people get a refund and they think, oh my God, I got a refund, yay. But really all that means is you overpaid. All they're doing is giving you some of your money back. Why overpay it all in the first place? There's a line in the law. You have a right to get as close to it as humanly possible without crossing it. And you should do that, in my opinion. You should get as close to that as possible. I'm all for paving the roads. I'm all for, housing for underprivileged people. I'm all for certain programs that require some tax dollars, but they don't need to come from income. They can come from gas tax, consumption tax. You pay, not only are you paying income tax, but you're paying tax on the candy bar you bought. You're paying tax on the gas you purchased. You're paying tax on water. You're paying tax on everything. You're getting taxed to death. And when you really add it all up, it's probably 50 or 60% of your income, which is highway robbery. Now, you look at countries like Dubai, United Emirates, and they have no income tax, and they think it's absolutely absurd that Americans are paying such high taxes. They're even offering for you to move there to a tax-free environment, if you would like. States are starting to come around. Now you got Missouri, Texas, some other states that are saying no more tax, no income tax. No state tax. Florida's already been no state tax. Now Governor DeSantis is saying no more real estate tax. It's absurd that you have to pay, your taxes on your house has to go up every year as the value keeps increasing. Why would that happen? That's like charging you a tax for sitting on your investments. So you got a stock portfolio, you got crypto, and it's going up in value. You should be paying tax every time it goes up in value. That's bullshit. That's thievery. That should be against the law. And he's stopping that in Florida. Other states are coming around to this, especially states that want to encourage people to move to them and boost the economy. Now Missouri and Arkansas and some places will be like, hey, no income tax if you move to this state. And guess what's happening? People are moving. People are moving away from New York and California because the taxes and the government, the state government is so ridiculous. They're moving out of those states. Right? And then they move to Florida, and because so many people move to Florida, the property values go up so high that people can't even afford to live here anymore. Now they're moving back out. But they're moving to states like Missouri and, Alabama, and places where they used to be, states that had, economic distress, but now they're starting to get a boost because of their new tax laws. But guys, it's antiquated, it's old, it's on its way out. It's dumb, it's stupid, and it's legal thievery. And when you see where the money's going, why would you even want to contribute? You should have a choice of where the money goes. And you're paying taxes to a government, to an agency that literally can print money out of thin air. And they do. And then they tax you for some more of yours just to keep you kind of broke. Unless you're rich. And if you're rich, then you have a team of tax attorneys that show you how to avoid paying taxes legally. Think about it. And everybody's like, tax the rich. The rich should pay their fair share. Instead of saying, I don't want to pay taxes either, poor people want the rich to pay more. Doesn't make sense. How about just become rich? I think a lot of the times, hold on one second.
That's why we're renegades, baby.
Say again.
That's why we're renegades, baby.
That's right. That's right. You learn. So there is a tax code, obviously, and there are some rules. You do got to comply, but you are under no obligation to pay the maximum amount possible. You owe it to yourself to pay the minimum amount possible, and you can learn how to do that by understanding the tax code, or at least hiring people that know it. And so we do have a crypto tax professional in our group, and she does want to have a call. She's asking for our permission. We want to go over her material first to make sure and see what she's talking about first before we just, let her say whatever she wants on a live call to the group. But, because we want to vet people, make sure that they're giving you good, solid information. But, yeah, I mean, we want you guys to, have all the necessary information. But I think that taxes in Trump, and according to the Genius Act, capital gains tax, profits on crypto is going to be a no such thing coming soon, coming to a theater near you, from what I understand, especially if you made it in the United States. Amy says, "Hey Nico, can we buy crypto merchandise? Crypto Renegades merchandise. The link was broken. Haven't checked it lately." Yeah, thank you for bringing that back up, because I am upset that somehow, some way, the link got disabled when our IT guy was doing something, and he never fixed it. Let me just go and check. Any other questions, guys? Speaking of, I actually have a call at 1:30 today, so we got about 20 more minutes with my tax attorney.
Can you check XRP?
I will definitely ask him about that. Yes, I will check XRP. Let's go back. XRP should be doing some things too, but it seems to be in a big bull flag of its own. All right, so on the 1 hour, we do have a kind of a bull flag happening here. It did come down and retest. It did retest previous resistance right here, and support and resistance. And support and resistance. So we have a big bull flag. I would say that a breakout is coming. This could be the halfway dump. Yeah, that would make sense to me. Let me get rid of some of this other stuff so you can, so it's not so messy. But let's come down here to the bottom. When we retested down here at 270, let's pull an upward trending support. We're coming to it right now. I mean, sometimes things are just very clear when you have the right support and resistance. Just pull all this to make it nice and even on my eyeballs. We have support, 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 right at the halfway line. Boom, 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 boom. Resistance, resistance, support, breakout, imminent, coming up after hitting this upward trending support, hitting the middle line, after wicking down to this support. My guess is this would be a good entry. Now, normally we wait for the breakout. Normally we wait for the breakout up here, but being the renegade that I am, I'm going to put a long signal right now on XRP. Reason is because, let me just make sure something here, hold on. Yeah. This would make sense to bounce on the halfway line after, like I always say, guys, these bull flags, they're in a bull flag, and then we come down. The lowest point is usually the major support and resistance. I mean, we had a big W, we broke out of that already. We come back down, we create a bull flag, and before we break out, we usually come down to the halfway mark before we break out. But before that, we usually had just retested previous resistance, which this is one. It's not this one. So that's a little concerning. But it is the other side of the W here. And we did retest it right here. And so this could be a good breakout. Me personally, I'm just going to take, this is a little more risky when you don't wait. Should probably wait for this to come up and break out of the top, because it is possible that it's not ready to do that yet. And then this could just continue. This could just be a longer bull flag. The problem with that is that would mean it would just breaking this upward trending support. And we don't want that to happen. And we want another push to the upside. Not only that, but that would bring us right up to this all-time high level, just like we're wanting Bitcoin to do, right up to that level. And that would make more sense in the short term here. So I am going long right now. 12x. I'm going to change that to 15x leverage. 30,000 contracts. Boom. Liquidations. And I'm going to put my stop loss right below this line at $3.13. For now. And if this starts to climb and gets up here above this, I will move my stop loss into profit here. Wow, what you got there? Sorry, guys, be right there. All right, so sorry guys, I have people here working around the house, so asking me questions. So right here we got I think that we might be ready for a breakout here. I am negative on a few trades at the moment, but that's because we're in consolidation phase. All right, the shop seems to be working, guys. And it's the same, it's in the Discord group. The same place it's always been, under official links. Right up here somewhere. Crypto Renegade shop right here. And this is what it looks like. All kinds of stuff, hats, shirts, thanks. If you're interested in any of that stuff, there you go. Also, guys, if you could do me a favor, I know I asked down here on official links is my YouTube channel. I don't really want you to go to that link because, I mean, you could, but what would be really helpful is you just go to YouTube and then search my name. If you go to YouTube and just search my name somewhere in the search, you'll end up on the home screen of YouTube. And then somewhere you just search for videos.
Very top.
Blocked up here. Oh yeah, up on the top here, search. And then just search my name, because this helps the algorithms in YouTube when you're actually searching for someone instead of just going directly to a link. I could share the link, but if you just go to directly to the link, and then you'll see me here, and then you click on it here, or just click on the video. One of these videos. This one right here was the most recent one. How much can you make in a day trading crypto futures? And you don't have to do any of this, by the way. I'm just asking if you'd like to help out, help the algorithms on YouTube, and just like, comment, you know, give a comment, but make it a realistic comment. I'm not asking you for, and it doesn't have to be positive or whatever. If it's negative, you know, it is what it is, but I would prefer it not be negative, but not salesy, you know what I mean? Not like a endorsement type of comment, just comment maybe on the video. If you could watch it and comment, I am keeping track of that. I am going to be giving away some of the merchandise to people who help out with these little things. And the reason why it's important is because obviously we're bringing attention to crypto. We're bringing attention to learning how to trade. Yes, it's bringing attention to Crypto Renegades. Obviously, I do have a link underneath these videos that take people to register for upcoming webinars and things like that. But it is beneficial for all of us because the more people that learn, the more people that trade, the better, the more awareness happens around crypto, the more likelihood that crypto not only thrives, but flourishes, and Crypto Renegades as well, because the more people that are in this group, the more people trading, the better quality traders can be produced, which also will help in our group, because we are now, me and Chad are now seeking vetting traders in the group who've learned how to do this to also contribute with more live trading sessions for everyone in the group, to help everyone in the group to learn how to trade more and faster and better and quicker.
Nico?
Yes.
I had searched that up for you, and I'd asked Bill in the help desk which one was your site, because there was another one that popped up and it has all your live recordings on it. And it was like recently, like the one you had done the day before was up there. So then after that, he pinned it in the help desk because I wanted to make sure I was following the right one, because there's the other one that looks like it's you, just so you know. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Does it have my name and picture, or is it just?
It was your live recording from August 6th was posted in there.
But was it okay? Because it could have been this account here, Cryptique.
Yes, that one. That's
Yes.
it. Yes.
So this is also, yeah, this is also my channel, guys. But most of these videos are all faceless. Let me just go to the videos. All the videos that were always posted in here were all faceless. It was just about crypto. Faceless meaning it wasn't me, except for maybe one or two. But if you go to the live is our, this is where I host the live calls that we do, but they're after the fact. So they're not necessarily live right away while I'm doing it with you guys. They're, after, like, they'll go into what's called let me just show you. They'll go into unlisted territory for a few days and then they go live. But no, I don't promote this. No one really knows about this channel. So when you guys click to watch a replay of one of the videos that one of our live sessions, it'll take you to this channel. And so you'll see that there's live video. You'll be like, wait, what's this? This was our live call. What is this channel? You don't have to, you could like and share that. You could like this channel, but that's not the channel I'm worried about. I'm more concerned about my name channel, the one that I was just showing you here. Just my name. You all set?
Yes, sir. I'm
All right.
gonna grab my card real quick and then, I'm gonna clean up outside and head out.
All right, I appreciate it.
So everything looks good.
Thank you. All right, so these videos that are coming up right now, if you could like and comment, that would be helpful. And by the way, I am keeping track of everyone who does that. It is very helpful for me, and I will definitely reward you in some way, shape, or form. Again, that's not a bribe. It's just an incentive. You don't have to do it. But yeah, so the one where the live calls are hosted, that's just so that we used to host them right in the private Facebook group, but Facebook has a storage issue. And as you know, our videos are like 2 hours long. So I had to start uploading them to one of my YouTube channels in order for us to even have a replay, because Facebook was making it impossible to store them on the Facebook page. We used to just go live on Facebook. They wouldn't allow that anymore. What happened? Did BTC dump? Let's just look here while I was talking. Something just popped down a little bit.
Nico, is there receive
Say that again?
live alerts through Discord on what you're doing on the signals you're giving? Is
Yeah,
there a
so-
way to receive
Yes. So
live alerts on the signals you're giving?
yes. So the signals channel is the only signals I give. They're in the signals channel. And you will come here and you'll click on signals channel and you will turn on notifications. All messages. You see that?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and same with Chad's channel and even the members' ideas channel as well.
And do announcements. The announcements channel is helpful.
Oh
We
yeah, and
covered
the
in
announcements.
onboarding.
I forgot. I knew there was another one. Announcements channel as well. This is where you're going to get not only. I also post the live call the Zoom calls announcements in here. Chad posts in here. Bill posts in here. Any important announcements. But whenever I post the live Zoom calls, I'm posting it in here. I'm also posting it in the Signal channel, and I'm posting in the trade chat. I post it in 3 separate places to make sure you don't miss it. But some people don't want the notifications on the trade chat because it's a lot of text. You'll be getting notified every time someone asks a question or says something. You don't need to be notified unless you want to. That's fine. But definitely important for the announcements channel, the Nico signals, Chad signals, and probably members' ideas as well.
Nico, sorry, but what was the take profit on the XRP trade you just set up?
I didn't put a take profit target. I just put a stop loss at $3.13. Let's go look at it here. I would say that it still needs to break out of this flag first, but first it's going to come up here. It's going to retest the all-time. It's going to wait. That's not the all-time high. That's the bull flag. I have this. I have this all the way up here. So I would say somewhere up in the $3.54 range. Even though the all-time high here is $3.65, this bull flag breakout pole brings us up to somewhere in this range here, $3.54. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to put it at 350. But when it starts to get close, oh, I actually put it. Oh, that's stop loss. Take profit target 350. I'm going to put it there, but when it starts to get close, I'm going to be watching because although I do think it'll probably come up and hit resistance at 365 and then pull back to 350 and retest, I'm going to probably move it out of the way, but I will have my stop loss way up here just in case. So I don't really care too much about take profit targets. If you're way in profit like that, move your stop loss all the way up, not all the way up too close because you got to give it room to breathe a little bit. But I'd rather get taken out from my stop loss than my TP sometimes, because especially when we don't know if it's going to keep going or not.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So Nick, I spoke with Bill last week when I was going through my roadmap, and I watched the ICO portion. I set up all the stuff, all the instructions, the MetaMask wallet, and all that. But when I didn't see you guys go live on buying the ICOs, because I'm actually interested in Element because you mentioned it. So because the one you posted on the Renegade channel, there was no video to show us how to actually get it done with. So when I spoke to Bill, Bill referred me to the videos, and I checked it. The live call did not complete because somehow, for some reason, that crypto was not viable. So you guys cut off the call. So I really want to buy the elements, and hopefully, yeah. So if you can go through the video or point us to where it was done, then fine, that would be good.
So you want a video of how to buy Element?
Yeah, I want to buy it. I want to, because you bought, so I want to just, so just want to model what you guys do. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, because these ICO videos here are kind of old, teaching you how to get into ICOs using like Pink Sale and some of the other platforms that are out there, having MetaMask and things like that. As far as Element goes, though, you need to go to Dex Tools. And yeah, we'll have to put a video together. I can't really teach it right here on this call, but you would go to Dex Tools, which is right here, dextools.io. But you don't even have to do that. So all you got to do is go into the Discord and go into, where was it? In the ICO section here, and you'll see, just click this link. It'll take you right to Dex Tools with Element already pulled up. So if I click this, it'll take you right to Dex Tools with Element already pulled up. Here it is, Element. And then you have to connect your wallet to this platform. Click, got it. And then you have to have Ethereum in your wallet in order to buy Element. So you have to already have Ethereum, like in MetaMask or Trust Wallet or something like that. You will connect your wallet right up here. See up here where it says connect. And then when you click connect, it's going to pull up. It's going to ask you what wallet you want to connect with, MetaMask, Binance, whatever. And then you're going to have Ethereum, and then you buy here, and then it goes into your wallet, right? And then you'll have Element in your wallet. Now, when it comes time to sell, let's say Element goes to the moon and you want to sell it, you would go to your wallet, or you'd come back in here and you would connect your wallet again. But this time you would have Element on top instead of Ethereum on top. You click this button, and then you would sell Element back to Ethereum.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, you want a video? We will have to put one together. I can't do it right now, but specifically for that. But we do need some updated videos on that, so we will do that. I'm pretty sure there is a step-by-step tutorial showing you how to buy, but I don't think it's from this platform. I don't think it's on Dex Tools.
All right.
Hey, Nico.
So,
Yep.
You were talking about our friend from Vegas and what he's got working. Any updates on that?
Yeah, we've been trying to connect. We've been trying to connect and set up a time for him to come in and talk. The reason why I'm hesitant is because the guy, to be honest with you, the guy is a little shady. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. He's made a lot of money in this field. But
I get it. I did some things quite a few years back and lost a fair share of money, but that doesn't negate what can happen in the future.
Yeah. So I just want there will be a disclaimer, guys, that listen, this this is a guy that can definitely show you how to make a lot of money, but he's not necessarily someone I would, leave my daughter with. He's not necessarily someone who I would like, leave my car with or something like that. No offense to him. He's like a brother from another mother. We go way back, but at the same time, he gets in, he's all about profit. He's all about money. He's all about, I'm not so sure that he's, the most trustworthy person. Although when it comes to nodes, when it comes to ICOs, he is connected with some very big organizations that are doing some big things. And he has made millions of dollars in that niche, verifiably. I already know that. Like Gala, for instance, he spent 9,000 on nodes for Gala and made $6 million on Gala. So, so he does have some knowledge in that space. I am trying to nail him down to just give me a list of the next 3 or 4 ICOs that I think are worthy. I could present it to you myself, but he will be happy to come on. The problem with him is he's going to want some referral link or something shared where he gets commission if you guys buy these tokens and these nodes. I'm trying to avoid that. But although he would probably deserve it if he's giving the information, but at the same time, I just like to vet people before I get them on here, guys, and share information with you guys so that you're not being led down the wrong path by somebody who I personally don't really 100% trust myself. But anyway, with that being said, I will get him on here, guys. There are other ICOs that are looking promising, and there will be 4 or 5 of them in there with Element, just for you to look at. As far as Element goes, I would not be buying nodes. They did discount and say they're temporarily selling nodes for $2,500. Guys, $2,500 can buy you a lot of tokens right now on Dex Tools. No reason to pay $2,500 for a node that's only going to be minting you 1,300 tokens a day when you can go buy 1 million tokens for the price of 1 node right now. Why wait 3 years for it to mint the same amount of tokens you can buy all at once? So to me, that's an incentive to get people to buy nodes, but at the same time, I don't know if that's the best deal for you. So don't do that. It's 1:30, guys. I do got to wrap it up. I got another call right now. We do have a onboarding call today at 2 p.m. and make sure you get on that if you're brand new. I just gave a long signal for XRP right here on the 50 on the halfway line on this bull flag. I think it's going to bounce and come out. I am up already on that signal, 4.5%, $91, and that's good. I'm still in my long on Bitcoin because I think Bitcoin is. Let's just go back and look. I think Bitcoin is just retesting right here, breaking out of this little apex. I think it's just coming down to retest.
Can't see your screen.
Shit. Sorry, guys. Thought I was sharing this whole time. There's Bitcoin. It's just in a little upward trending support right now. We popped all the way up to 122, coming down to retest this previous support and resistance line right here. It bounced on it, and it's probably going to retest before breaking out. I'm hoping that it does that. And then back to XRP real quick. What I was just saying a minute ago is we are in a bull flag. We came down and retested the major support, triple bottomed on it, broke up to the top, and then we're hitting the halfway line right where it converges with the upward trending support. So to me, this is probably a good entry. If it breaks below that line, not a good entry. That's why I have my stop loss right here. But if it starts to come up here, breaks out, this is where I'm thinking it's going to head right up to this level. That's why I have a TP up here at the $3.50 range. I will put it in the trade chat. I will put it in the signals channel. I don't think I did, but I will.
Hey, Nico.
Yeah.
Can you don't have to do it right now. I know you're busy, but like maybe in one of your posts on your signals, can you take a look at Cardano as like a coin in general and what it's doing on the charts?
Yep, I'll look at it
at a later date.
What is Cardano? Is Cardano ADA? I can't remember.
It is.
I mean, we broke out of a giant flag here as well, I think. Let's go to the daily real quick. Yeah, we broke out of a nice big flag here. We're retesting right now. This could be very positive. I'd be on the lookout for if this doesn't, and this needs to get higher than here, but this is a bullish move to the upside right here. And we did come down and hit some support here. And it did break out, but I'm not sure where it's going. It doesn't look like it has much buying pressure. It's not one I usually follow. I do own Cardano. I am sitting on a lot of it, but not really trading it much because it doesn't really do much. But this was a nice pump. But look how long ago it was. This has been going on since November of last year, guys, and finally we have a breakout. Probably because everything else is bullish right now. All right, guys. If you could help me out with the YouTube stuff, that'd be great. If not, no hard feelings. I don't. You don't have to. It's just a suggestion. We are going to be, giving some stuff away, some hats and things like that. Keeping track of that. We're going to be having some more competitions and some more things like that. Also, we do appreciate when you guys come on the live public Zoom. Our next one is Wednesday, not Thursday. Normally we have it on Thursday, but the next one is Wednesday of this week. And some of you have been coming on that and helping out and answering questions. We appreciate that. And thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day. I will be definitely keeping track of what's going on the charts today. It is Monday. I'm expecting us to climb back up and retest the all-time high here for Bitcoin, and that will pull some of these other ones up as well. So get on the onboarding if you're new. And other than that, I will see you guys on Wednesday, and I am live in the chat. If you have any questions for me, just send me a DM also in the chat. But let me know that you did. Like, if you send me a DM, also post in the main chat, say, Nico, I sent you a DM. That way I can go look, because sometimes I'm not always in my DMs.